Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Tarun Sharma from Institute of Hotel and Tourism Management, Maharishi Dayanand University, Rohtak, Haryana. Today I am going to deliver the lecture on the module Hotel Layout and Planning Trends. That is an important topic for hotel housekeeping. At the end of the module, you will develop an understanding about the concept of hotel layout, the hotel layout in different hotel areas, the recent hotel planning trends, hotel planning in different areas of the hotel. Now let us start with the hotel layout. The layout of the hotel must balance functional and aesthetic aspects of a property, concurrently meeting the needs of the guests, the staff and the owner. Moreover, 5-star properties are design oriented and simultaneously integrating the functional aspects to enhance the space, whereas the design of budget properties tend to be more functional for maximum utility. Thus, irrespective of the configuration of the space, the layout of the property should inspire, be safe, efficient and cost effective, and that maintains the utility and charm over time. The development process of layout of hotel programming. Programming is the process of defining and detailing the activities to be carried out within a hotel, allocating the requisite space and establishing relationships between the spaces. It is one of the initial phases in the development process. Additionally, it helps to establish the way the structure of the property is to be positioned on a location, the on-site automobile and pedestrian flows and connection to the external environment. Moreover, the schematic bubble diagram are developed to convey both activities and relationships for the programming. Space allocation in the hotel layout planning of the establishment of the relationship between various operations. Requisite space is allocated to the direct and supporting activities as essential. For instance, a hotel requires space not only for its guest room but also for infrastructure such as vertical transportation, stairs and elevators, horizontal circulations, corridors and other such services areas. Thus, the detailed summary of all the actions, activities, relationships and space allocation for different areas of a hotel is called building program or design brief. However, if the property is franchised or managed by the chain, the brand will have a set of predefined standard and prototype design, thus defining the activities, relationships and space allocation. Now we will talk about layout of a guest room. The layout of a guest room is most vital aspect in the design of a hotel establishment. Moreover, the guest room account not only for major proportions of space within the hotel but also a large measure of the hotel experience. An efficient and effective design of these areas play a strategic role in the satisfaction of guests along with operating efficiency of the hotel. Generally, low-rise hotels with 1 to 3 stories typically use a double loaded slab, means the guest room on both sides of a corridor. While this configuration is practiced along with a variety of rectangular, triangular and circular tower design by high-rise hotels. However, the guest room floor design is determined by design, site and cost considerations. The double loaded slab and the offset slab are considered the most efficient, whereas the least efficient is the atrium style arrangement. However, the most appropriate slab designs are dependent on the configuration of the site and desired visual individuality. For instance, resort design generally have low-rise guest room configurations, as the design is driven by maximization of the scenic beauty instead of visual impact of the property, as in case of city center hotels. Therefore, while planning the layout of the guest rooms, one need to take into account many considerations like the structure of the guest room should be visible from the road. Orient guest room such that it enhance the views to command a premium prices. Position the structure of the guest rooms to limit its structural impact on major public areas. Organize the guest rooms tower or wings so that the guest room occupy the maximum amount of the gross floor areas for the economy of construction. Develop the corridor plan with a minimum width of 5 feet to facilitate guest and staff circulation, provide service elevator and guest elevators, linen storage in the central location to minimize walking distances. Plan the guest bathrooms back to back for the economy of plumbing. Locate handicap accessible guest rooms on lower floors and near elevators. Though the planning of the individual guest room is driven by the local and the target markets of the property, almost all hotel establishments include a mix of guest rooms and suites of different configurations. However, the recommended bed mix varies from property to property, although it is important to consider bed configuration as it has major impact on the satisfaction of guests. Once the bed mix is determined, the planning for the individual room types is carried, which largely depends on the activities to take place within the room. Generally, there are 5 major zones, namely a lounging or reading zone, a working or dining zone, a sleeping zone, a dressing zone and a bathroom zone. A good layout design anticipates all these activities and interrelationships with other areas of the guest room. The space needed for each activity and adds to appropriate look and feel of the quality level of the hotel. For instance, it is typical for guest rooms in resort to have soft furnishings to add interest, softening the look and the feel and providing comfort. Layout design for public areas. The major public areas in the layout design are the lobby and public flow space, the food beverage outlets and the meeting spaces. These areas are considered the living spaces as they drive the other activities, frame the image of the property and interest and amenities to the guest experience. The lobby is accounted as the most iconic of all hotel spaces as it not only functions as hotel's front office but also an essential space for transition. Moreover, the transition from an often hectic and arduous journey to the security and serenity of the hotel takes place in the lobby, along with circulation to other spaces within the hotel without feeling lost or disoriented. The lobby space should support functions like clear access to stairs, elevators or escalators, lobby seating for both individual and small groups, concierge desk and storage if appropriate, front desk administrative areas, bell desk and luggage storage, public toilets, courtrooms and house phones, layout of the food and beverage outlets. The configuration and number of hotel food and beverage outlets varies widely. In addition, standards also differ globally. For instance, a hotel may have only a single multi-purpose space that serves as a combination such as breakfast room and the coffee bar in the morning and transforms into a casual bar and limited menu dining setting in the evening. Additionally, the multiple outlets must offer variety, value and excitement. Moreover, a signature dining outlet in partnership with celebrity chef may be located in the hotel premises with an access to customers seeking a unique dining experience as well as house guests. Layout design considerations for F&B outlets are provision of dining venues with direct access of the people to enhance the restaurant's positioning as a local eatery. Locate the main casual dining restaurant as conveniently as possible in the main circulation pattern of the establishment to maximize internal business. Usage of the back-to-back house space by sharing kitchen among F&B outlets for the economy of construction and operation. Provision of satellite bars with an appropriately sized service areas for preparation, storage and backup. Provision of separate restrooms for each outlet if possible in case of high volume beverage operations. However, a design should delight the guest along with provision of space and labor efficiency. Layout of other public areas. Function space design varies widely across the different types of hotel establishments. The large hotels may have at least one distinct ballroom, meeting and conference rooms, exhibition space and banquet rooms, while a small hotel might have only a single multi-purpose room for all the events. Moreover, a convention hotel which is specifically designed for meetings have space for various functions with varying size, configuration and capabilities, while a commercial transient hotel add function spaces for the provision amenities and to broaden the service offerings. Thus, a layout design for various public areas should be consistent with the location and primary function of the establishment. Now, layouts for differently abled people. Layout of registration counter for differently abled people. The registration counter in the hotel establishment are usually kept a little high to conduct the business activities appropriately. Therefore, to serve the guests who are short or on wheels better, a proportion of registration counter should be lowered, or they may be served at some other counter at an appropriate height. Provision for differently abled people in guest rooms. The provision of guest rooms accessible and adapted to the needs of differently abled guests is mandatory for hotel establishments. A physically accessible room should have push and pull clearance doorway, a minimum of 32 inches clear opening of the door, accessible door hardware, accessible security features, a peephole mounted at 36 to 45 inches height, controls and light switches mounted at 48 to 54 inches height from the floor, provision of guest room with hearing impairment, a text, telephone, audio-visual emergency warning devices, notification devices for door knocking and telephone ringing, provision in washroom for differently abled people, a minimum of 32 inches clear wide opening to the bathroom, accessible sinks and faucets, grab bars for the toilet, toilet seat at 17 to 19 inches height above the floor, adequate maneuvering space in the front of the toilet tub and shower for a wheelchair, grab bars and transfer seat for the tub, provision in exercise and health facilities for differently abled people. The facilities should be on an accessible path of travel for differently abled guests, along with a minimum of one means of access to the pool such as ramp, transfer tier or lift. Now let us discuss about planning trends in hotel. With the flair of luxury and sophistication, the guest room area have become larger and great proportion of space is now allocated to public and back of the house facilities. Planning structure designs. Guest rooms are invariably designed by standard modules facilitating system building and prefabrication and rapid construction, bulk purchasing and efficient housekeeping and maintenance. Public areas generally require large spans and may extend into atrium spaces. In order to achieve centralization of services such as lifts, emergency exits, linen chutes and trash chutes, an efficient design will serve the purpose. Now let's discuss for entrances. The main entrance to the property must be conspicuous and attractive. The forecourt space should allow pedestrians, smooth circulation of vehicles and a waiting coach and a baggage storage for large tourist groups. Moreover, revolving doors or a draught lobby with automatic doors, alternative baggage entrance facilities and access for the differently abled and fire escape routes ought to be considered. The parking space for vehicle is largely dependent on the location, the mode of transport and availability of space close by. Provision of parking spaces, suburban and airport hotels 1.1 square feet space per room, city center hotels 0.3 square meter space for conventions and banquet sitting, resort hotels less than 0.2 square meter space per room plus a coach waiting area, lobbies The lobby is the main hub of activity and traffic, a place for assembly, waiting registration and setting of accounts and information services. Lobbies range from often spectacular designs of those in high-grade city hotels, about 1 square meter space per room, to budget designs around 0.3 square meter space per room or less. The lobbies include the front desk and lounge or waiting area, public telephones, clock rooms and facilities for luggage handling and safe deposits. In large hotels, this may extend to arcades of shops, a concierge desk, currency changing facilities, a telephone exchange, a bell captain's counter, group registration counter and other services. Guest rooms. The dimension of the guest room are determined by the standards of the hotel and number and sizes of the beds and furniture. However, the planning of the interior and the arrangement of the furniture and fittings has to be considered from both the functional and the decorative perspective. The guest room design should be versatile so that the same room can be converted to a different type of accommodation if needed. The standard minimum area of a single room is 9 square meter approx. The standard area for a double room is 11 square meter. The standard minimum area for a twin room is 13 square meter. The floor to ceiling height is usually 2.5 meters, lower to 2 meter in the room lobby to allow for mechanical servicing. Generally, a room with 3.6 meter width is efficient, allowing a wardrobe in the living room and furniture along the walls. Moreover, an increased room width creates an impression of spaciousness and allows alternative bed and bathroom layouts. The length of room is usually more flexible and may extend to balcony or angled window for directional views, while suites are usually limited to corners of the floor and the top accommodation floor, where there may be possibility of changes in the standard module. Room doors are usually 76 to 90 centimeter wide with the room number displayed on the entrance. A doorstep is essential to prevent damage to walls. Windows should be standard size so as to avoid the need to have curtains of different size. The walls are soundproofed to as much extent as possible to exclude noise from the corridors and adjacent rooms. Skirting board help prevent damage to walls, but if they have a ledge, cleaning becomes difficult. Recent trends in hotel room planning are the segmentation of rooms according to gender. For instance, Hotel ITC Moria Sheraton's has segments allocated only for women. In such properties, either one or whole floor or a few rooms are designed specifically for women travelers only. The provision of non-smoking rooms. Such segments appeal to guests who have an aversion to cigarette smoke. This is because, however thoroughly a room is cleaned, the smell of smoke tends to permeate the soft furnishings and carpets. The provision of business center in hotels for guests who may need to stay at a burst of developments in the business, along with facilitation of computer and Wi-Fi in the guest rooms. In-suite bathrooms. The bathroom are generally sited against the interior walls of the room, equipped with extractor fans and ventilation ducts. For the economy of construction and plumbing, bathrooms may be adjacent to each other between two rooms. Moreover, adjacent pair of rooms is thus arranged as mirror images to share common vertical ducts and isolate the noise in the bathroom. General fitting and fixtures in the bathroom include a 1500 mm bath with grab bars, shower, rectangle clothesline, shower curtains, WC and vanity unit. High-grade hotels use 1700 mm bath, twin basin set in vanity surrounds and a bidet as well as WC. Luxury units include a separate dressing area and shower cubicle. Safety considerations while planning a hotel. Safety, hygienic and other requirements include non-slip, easy drained surfaces, tiled walls, acoustically insulated ceiling, mirror over basin, screened moisture-proof lighting, panel access to services, controlled warmed air inflow and extra mixer values and thermostat control of hot water, shelf space, towel racks, toilet roll holder, electric point for a shaver or dryer, lidded waste bins, tissue dispenser, toiletry tray or basket, and in high grade hotel, telephone and music relay. Resident circulations. The residential area adds circulation and floor service space to the net room areas. Gross factor can range from less than 5% of chalet and lodge type buildings with external entrances, though 20 to 30% of the double loaded central corridors accessed by lifts and stairs, and up to 35 to 45% of single loaded side corridors and tall buildings. Corridors should be well lit and most have dado. A dado is a strong and easily cleaned skirting of approximately up to 150 cm, while a continuous wall paneling that extends from the floor to halfway up the wall is called a wainscot. A dado is essential for the prevention of damage caused by banging of trolleys and luggage against the wall and the rubbing and scratching that may be caused by the people. For safety concerns, emergency stairs are to be sited at or near the ends of each corridor. The length of the corridor is limited by the maximum distance to the traveler to reach the protected fire escape stairs. For corridors with sprinkler system and fire exits at or near opposite ends, allow two direction of escape. Maximum distance usually range from 45 to 60 meters with smoke doors at 30-meter distances. Dead end corridors with on exit are limited to a length of 7.6 meters. Minimum fire resistance periods for separation of exits such as staircases are normally 1 hour for building up to 3-story high and 2 hours for 4-story or more. Large hotels use automatic sprinkler systems, fire mode, ventilation switching with alarm and lift, and the smoke door activation. A fire alarm, indication panel and the hydrant system must be installed together with portable and CO2 extinguisher in specific areas such as required. Apart from the scenic lifts in the atrium, the guest must be best located off the main lobby but within control of the front desk. The number of guest and service lifts may be in such ratios as 2:1, 3:2 and 4:3. They are often sited back to back for economy, the service lifts rising from back of the house areas and opening into a separate service lobby on each floor. Additionally, large high grade hotels often require specific provision for luggage handling as well. Conference rooms, ballrooms and banquet halls. Large group of people access via foyers or atrium spaces which provide cloakroom facilities and temporary refreshment services. Large ballrooms are usually divisible with removable soundproof partitions so that each of the partitioned areas has its own independent access and service entrance. Air conditioning, lighting, power and audio-visual facilities. In terms of area, banquet hall are usually 1.1 to 1.3 square meter per cover. Clock rooms. A clock room is often provided for non-resident guests who come to the hotel for an event with the provision of vanity units, WC, large mirrors and hanging space for coats. High-grade hotels also have hat check rooms for the safekeeping of men and women hats, coats and umbrellas. Leisure facilities. Enclosed leisure areas range from a fitness room to a fully equipped health club with pool and spa facilities. In resort, leisure facilities are generally planned around landscape pools and other attractions. The built leisure areas in a high-grade hotel take up spaces of 1.3 square meter per room. Mid-grade hotels 0.3 square meter per room and a resort 0.3 to 0.5 square meter per room. Moreover, there are often large external areas for leisure activities with the inclusion of a health club, sauna, solarium and recreation facilities. Now let us summarize. The layout of a hotel establishment must take into account the functional, layout and aesthetic aspects to design a property to fulfill the needs of the guests, the staff and the owner. Programming a hotel involves defining the activities to be conducted within and surrounding the property, establishing relationships among the activity areas and allocating an adequate space for the activities. A program should be consistent with a brand's vision and positioning. Thus, the design layout of a property should inspire, be safe, efficient and cost effective and maintain their utility and charm over time. The chapter outlines the way to successfully connect spaces to attain a fair return on investment. Further, it entails how the layout and design contribute to mixed design, construction, capital and brand decision to create a good hotel establishment. The chapter also provides an overview of an array of trends pertinent in the hospitality sector for enhancing the experience of the guests. Thank you.